Meet Bradley, a normal, healthy 17-year-old that liked normal kid stuff, hanging out with his friends, learning to drive, everything normal. Until it wasn't. Until he woke up one day with a headache so bad he felt drunk and looked like he'd had a stroke. Taken to a specialist hospital, tests confirmed he had a brain tumour in his brainstem. And just like that, everything changed. He underwent 12 hours of brain surgery, lost his ability to walk, to move his right side or to talk properly. It was confirmed he had terminal diffuse midline glioma, and the prognosis was a 0% chance of survival. He was given just 6 to 9 months to live. Bradley is the youngest of 4, with an older brother and 2 sisters. The family are well known and have lived in the area all their lives. Bradley's parents initially chose not to tell Bradley his poor prognosis, but news spreads and people talk. A trial drug gave hope to the family that it might extend Bradley's life. So fundraising was launched and the community sprang into action to raise money. They also chose to fulfill his bucket list. He is a topic of conversation locally, especially between the kids and around school. His friends are still attending their lessons and everyone is watching the story unfold. He seems to get better following the radiation therapy, and he sets about doing lots of awesome things. Bradley in the background continued to meet with his consultant and oncologist until around the 6-month point, when a scan showed the tumour had grown back to the pre-radiation size. His friends consoled him, celebrated him, and continued to show up for him every day. They would call in with him to talk, to chat, to play games. They even did a massive fundraiser of their own to show how much they cared. Then around the 9-month point, Bradley started to decline. His appearance had changed. This was largely due to the medication. His mental health was affected and the medical profession withdrew all care, citing there was nothing more they could do. Bradley had always been the sensible one of the group, the logical thinker, the agony uncle, the dad. They went to him with their problems, and now he was ill and they felt helpless. Bradley is the youngest sibling, yet his brother and sisters had to watch as the horror continued to unfold around them. They had to watch their parents fight for help and support, struggle as they tried to care for a 6'1", 18-stone adult who was no longer capable. They had to manage everyone watching and waiting whilst trying to navigate what their life and circumstances looked like now. And things kept getting harder. Bradley became more and more scared and was able to do less and less. Their house became unrecognisable. Bradley's parents were anxious, helpless. Everyone was waiting. Everyone was watching on in horror. Everyone was helpless. After a public battle and plea for help, this eventually saw Bradley admitted to a hospice. This meant new treatments, new drugs, round-the-clock care, and Mum, Dad and Bradley staying away from home. His friends continued to visit, unaware of what he would be like on any day. Bradley would cry at them he was dying. He told them he loved them. He told them he wanted to die. He turned to God. He didn't sleep. He was petrified. Then one day, 3 weeks after entering the hospice, Bradley caught pneumonia. He was now even more sick, agitated, scared, unable to move at all, could no longer see, talk, or breathe alone. He fought for another week until he died suddenly and without warning, only a few hours after his siblings had left for the night because of how distressed he had been. Then comes the hard part, life without Brad, without both Bradleys, the one he was before he was ill and the one who suffered. His funeral held days before his brother's birthday. His friends all preparing themselves to talk at the funeral, but never having attended one before. A community that showed up in their hundreds to celebrate his life, and a community left grieving, left missing someone, left confused, left with guilt, left with love and sadness. How do you deal with all of that?